Throughout the first overview, you heard me use the term PPM or post-process material. If you're new to Unreal, you probably are wondering what that is and what it has to do with rendering. So if you go to our tool and you look here in these tech AOVs, how we're making these tech AOVs is with post-process material. So the world normal, world position, world depth, ambient occlusion, motion vectors, those are things that are actually included in Unreal. They're just hidden away in folders. So in my tool, you have direct access to them. And what these basically are materials that only affect the post-processing in Unreal. And we use those to get the AOVs that we need for compositing. So you'll see that we have an option in our tech AOVs for a custom tech post-processing material. So how is that going to help you? Well, I've only given you a couple post-process materials here, and those are the ones that are included in Unreal. We will be adding more later, but if you have any post-process materials or things that you need for your compositing, then you can add in your own using this custom tech AOVs option here. So there is a website that you can use called blueprintue.com. And what this is a community run thing where people can submit blueprints for you to just copy and use as your own. So if you go to the search bar up here and you type in post-process material, you'll see that there are already a bunch of post-process materials that are available to you that you can use in your scenes or use in compositing to help you create your scenes. So just to show you how this works, I'm going to create a post-process material just to separate this green channel here. So we add a material like we normally would do. And I'm going to type this ppm underscore green and open this up. So the first thing I want to do is go to my material domain, and I'm going to change this to post-process. Now you'll see that it only allows this emissive color input. If I go ahead and add the scene texture node and I change this to post-process input 1, I can connect this right into the emissive color. So what this will do now is just give us what's already in the scene. So I'm going to select my camera and I'm going to go all the way down until I get to rendering features. Under rendering features, you'll see this option called post-process materials. If you open that up, we're going to add an array, asset reference, and we're just going to drag our green channel in here. So you're going to see that nothing really happens because all this is what's already in the scene being plugged in through the emissive color input. So you're just getting straight what you have in the scene. So going back in here, we're going to do a split components. And from this, I am going to create and subtract dice 1, 2. And I'm going to take the red and plug it into this B channel, and I'm going to take the blue and plug it into this channel. And then I'm going to take the green and plug it in here, and take the green and plug it in here. So what we're doing is we're subtracting the red from the green and the blue from the green. And then we're going to create a linear interpolate. And we're going to plug in this one and this one. And plug that into our emissive color. So we're going to click on our output material. And we're going to go all the way to the bottom. And you see here where it says blendable location. I want this to happen before tone mapping. Now, if you're going, you'll see it's much different. We're only getting the green channel now. From linear to what you're seeing, we're only getting that channel towards you. So I'm going to create just a normal post-process material that I use all the time. So we're going to create a material and we're going to call this ppm underscore spin. So inside this custom depths, we're going to create a post. We're going to select our post process. The first thing we're going to do is add in a texture coordinate depth. And we're going to plug that into a scene depth. These nodes right here, scene depths, scene color, and scene texture. These are nodes to help you in your post-process materials. So right now, we're not going to use the scene color. We're just going to use the scene depth because we want a black and white image that we're going to use in compositing. So I'm going to, from here, create a spec. And then I'm going to type in a scalar parameter, and I'm going to name this depth start. We'll plug that in right there. Then we're going to create a divide. And I'll create another scalar parameter. And we're going to have depth end. And we're going to give this a value. Good. And let's save this up. So now we have our main custom depth post-process material made. So now I'm going to go to one of my scenes. I've got my beach scene open up here. And now I want to set up that custom depth to work with the scene so I can use it in compositing in order to defocus the back part of this fence. Right click on our master custom depth ppm. And I'm going to create a material instance. So in order to view this, we'll go back to our camera and we'll go to our post-process material and we'll drop this in. So as you can see, it's kind of close to what I want, but this fence is not totally in the white, which is what I want for my mask. And we have a little bit too much white going on over here. That's going to get affected in the mask, which I don't want. So I've opened up my custom depth instance for the scene, and I'm going to click on the depth and scalar parameter we made. And I'm just going to adjust it, and then our depth start, and just getting a decent fall off that I want to mimic a camera depth of field. So once I got it, I'm going to hit save. So now I have this here. So how do I make sure that this renders? Well, in my tool, I can go down here to my AOVs, and under Tech AOVs, click on the Custom Tech Post-Process Materials. And I'm going to hit the checkbox right here under Custom Tech AOVs and hit the checkbox under Enabled in our array. And I'm just going to drag this in. You can get rid of this over here. And now we have our custom depths that's going to be rendered inside of our Tech AOV multi-EXR. Now, what if I wanted this to render every time? Well, I could just create a preset. And I'll select my VP underscore preset. And I'm just going to name this MB. So in here, after I adjust all my other settings, I can just come down, hit here, hit the enabled, and search it up. And you'll see it right here. Now that I've got my custom Tech AOV set up with my custom depth ppm, I'm going to go ahead and fill out the rest of these settings and hit render. Okay, so we're back in compositing now. And I have my final image here with all of my compositing. And I just put a shuffle node here. So if you look through this, we can see that all of our post-process materials rendered, including our custom depth, that if we go down to here, we put this into a shuffle node and we used it as a mask to create our camera to focus, give us a little bit more depth of field to our shot. And this work with any post-process materials that you create. If you have any other questions about tech AOVs in the Light Passes AOV widget, you can leave a comment below or check out our Discord. Link will be in the description. That's all for today.